Welcome back, MTG Joe here. Today we are going to talk about the state of alchemy. So I said the A word, I'm sorry. I don't want to trigger anyone, but very contentious format. Some people like it, some people think it's fake. Whatever your stance is, I enjoyed elements of it. Starting with what is alchemy, the intent was to kind of rebalance in a digital format standard cards to kind of buff errata, fix cards to kind of keep up with the meta, give prevent staleness, prevent one thing from taking over the meta, anything like that. Then there was the introduction of digital cards, which just seemed pushed. We got the digital only sets of Lord of the Rings and Baldur's Gate. And really, Wizards has just kind of completely dropped the ball in this format. They have not addressed anything recently. The format is kind of completely to garbage. I like some of the digital cards. While things were obviously pushed, I'm in favor of the Crucius kind of nerf, stuff of that nature. I like some of the elements that they've introduced to Historic. That's beyond the fact. You can have your stance with that, whether or not you like it. But I think just from the actual intent, and we're going to look at some stats from Untapped GG kind of echoing this statement, because I started today by trying to figure out the weekly meta breakdown, looking at win rates of decks, stuff like that. There's a component of my community who enjoys alchemy, plays alchemy, and looks for deck lists, and I try to address that in that sense, providing them kind of trends week to week. But I want to start off with what Wizards was intending, and let's look at some stats now. So from June 20th to now, so the entire summer, but really we're looking at popularity of the day. The entire format is taken over by 3 cards predominantly. You have the One Ring, Bowmaster, Shieldred. Noticeably a trend, One Ring might as well be an honorary black card because it's always going to accompany those 2 cards. Those, specifically Bowmaster, is incredibly polarizing. It's a card that's dominating, or being a focal point in Legacy, in Modern, in Vintage. And then to put it in a format that's largely standard cards with a very small pool, it's head and shoulders above everything else. Similar with the One Ring, just providing incremental card advantage. We look at the popularity of decks today, just in terms of games played. 24% of the meta is mono black midrange in Best of One. 18% is mono black Nazgul. And then you have Dimir Oracle, which is basically Bowmaster with blue cards, and Oracle to draw you into your Power 9. Surprisingly, a mono red deck, still trying to fight its way. You have Golgari midrange, which is black cards with some green cards. Dimir midrange, which is Rusko and Friends. And then Jund midrange, which is Crucius, Jarsoul, Bowmaster, One Ring, Shieldred, all mixed into there. Similarly, if we look at the win rates just for today, mono black midrange. So you could say, well, the deck's really popular, but maybe it's not putting up the same win rate. Well, the Nazgul deck's kind of more of a meme. People just like playing Nazguls. Mono black midrange, 61%. Golgari midrange, 60%. Jund midrange, 60%. Dimir Oracle, pretty much 60%. Dimir midrange, struggling behind, 56%. Mono red aggro, 52%. So nothing is even kind of coming close. We look at kind of head and shoulders, these black decks really over the top. But this is going to make you laugh. Saw this, and we're going to switch to best of 3. Take a guess in comments what you think the popularity of mono black decks are in best of 3. Give you a second. And if you guessed 80% of the meta, yes, 4 to 5 games is against mono black control. So much so that there is not even other deck lists showing up. There's no stats. You are playing mono black. Look at it. Look, we had a meta, and now it's just mono black. Literally, the best thing you could be doing, the only thing you should be doing, is basically stating that alchemy format is mono black format. You'd be playing those. You can combat it in certain elements by splashing another color. But the core and the essence is you have to play these cards. There's nothing else worth playing that's better than these. And it just creates really poor patterns because you can't really try new things because it's just not going to be as powerful. And even in the mirrors, like playing the same game over and over and over, which really just kind of relies on, okay, did I or my opponent draw more Bowmasters? Did they flash in their Bowmaster first and I flashed in mine? Did I draw the One Ring? Did they draw the One Ring? Did I have removal for their Shieldred in time? No? Okay, then I guess I die. Oh, did I? Well, then I guess they die because I have my One Ring. Like, there's not really great gameplay experience. So, like, it really begs the question what their intent is with this format. If they kind of let the ship sail, if they want to put it to death, put it to death. But if your intent is to still introduce these cards, have them disrupt formats, and then not be proactive in terms of managing them, in Historic, Bowmaster has largely impacted your ability to play 1 toughness creatures. Card that was a staple in pretty much across the format. Esper Sentinel, no longer effect. Thalia, you've seen the humans deck largely fall off, just inability. Mono Green was pretty much shut out for a while. They got Abundant Harvest, so or the 1 mana enchantment ramp. That helps them there. So there's elements that could help them in that sense, but really, I would like some direction, stuff like that. In a recent article that they put out, they said the format is healthy and has ever-changing diversity. I don't know what they're looking at in terms of their stats when we see stuff like this, where, yes, you have diversity in decks, but they're all the same deck in essence. So that's kind of the stats I wanted to show today. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll catch you next time.